Hi and welcome. Today I'm going to be looking at making some sketchbooks, and I love doing this. It's a really fun job. I've made myself two concertina sketchbooks, one out of a single sheet of Fabriano hot press paper, 200 grams per square metre, so a medium weight, which will be good for mixed media. And the second one is a much smaller one. This one is made out of a single A3 sheet of Khadi 100% cotton rag watercolour paper. And whilst I won't be talking about jelly printing particularly, you might know, those of the sharp-eyed ones amongst you will realise that these are in fact jelly prints that I've done on fabric, which I've used for the covers of my books. Now, one of the things I know a lot of people find when they go to use a sketchbook is they're intimidated by the white page. So I decided, as this is a book I'm going to be using later on in the year when I do some travelling, that I'd try and pick out some colours I thought that were relevant to where I'd be going, and put some colours in here and give me something to work on. So I have used ink, some old inks I have which I haven't been using, some tissue paper which has been printed on, in fact lots of tissue paper, Dessa drawing with some line, again that's actually a fabric paint I used, more paper collage, more tissue paper. And that way, when I go to start using this book, I'll have something I can already get my teeth stuck into, something I can respond to. Also too, I expect that I'll be gluing a lot of things into here. So I've made sure that when I've made this book, I've made a particularly thick spine so that the whole of the book will fit. Even if I glue lots of things in, everything will fit inside this cover. I made this book mainly because I needed to prepare some additional samples. I did have some technical troubles with filming, so I lost a whole lot of footage from the actual main book making, and I just wanted to make sure that everyone saw all the techniques. So what follows is a guide to making a simple concertina book out of one sheet of art paper. Art books are very expensive, but you can often buy a good piece of art paper. This is one sheet, and it's made a book which is roughly 20 centimetres wide by 15 high. It's just a little bit smaller than that, but that's the rough thing. And this will just give me plenty of pages to work on for my journal. I'm sure it's going to be great. So I've just grabbed a sheet of Khadi paper, A3 Khadi paper, and I'm just going to demonstrate how I cut my big sheet of Fabriano paper, just to give you a quick idea of that basic part of the process. Firstly, I'm going to be folding it into 4 pieces. Rolling the paper often helps just make it easier to get those edges lined up. So we're lining up the 2 long edges, and I'm pressing down with my thumbs just to get that central thing, making sure that the ends are both as close as possible, and then taking my bone folder and pressing that crease, refold it the other direction just to reinforce that crease. And again, I'll go over this with my bone folder. Now I'm ready for the tearing part, which is pretty critical. And I tend to do this in short stages and with the use of a metal ruler to help guide the tear. So often I'll just do the very top section by hand, just to get it started. And then I'll be using the ruler held along that crease point and slowly pulling this up. Measure the cover so that it's just a little bit wider, maybe a ½ centimetre wider than the book all around. You need 2 covers and you'll also need a spine. So this is just a bit wider, 19.5 centimetres for the widest section. I'm going to take it out to 20 centimetres, and the height is 14.5 centimetres, so I'm going to take that out to 15. And I've got my pieces of cardboard here, just some scraps. And when you're cutting with the blade, just remember to do several shallow cuts. Don't try and cut through the cardboard all in one go. It's just going to be a mess and you're likely to cut your hand off. Now I do need for this, I need a spine, and I'm actually going to put the spine up on the upper section. And I find that concertina books can be really unwieldy. They do literally open out so wide. And I find that if you put the spine on this side, is that it really keeps it much more together. And that's quite a tall spine. I'm going to be posting in airline tickets and bits from local travel guides. So I want it to be fairly thick. because the book itself will end up quite thick. I'll also need to allow a gap on either side. I'm going to need a gap so that there's enough fabric to fold over and hold it. Now all I've got to do is cut my second cover. What's going to happen is the back of the book will be glued onto here, so there's no need to put a cover on here, but this section here and the spine will be exposed in the final book. So what I'm going to do is I've measured 19 there, and just to make it a nice round number, I'm going to go 25 centimetres down, so that this fabric that I have here will cover from the top part the way down here, and that will help secure what would otherwise be the floating spine and the floating front cover of the book. This fabric to sit very neatly in this gap. Of course, the thing you want to do is work out which is the front and which is the back of your book, and I've chosen as the back a very plain section, plainer than the front, and I also like that as an opening couple of pages. So carefully line this up so that it's nice and square. You've got that sitting pretty much within the cover. Could probably come down a little bit. Might just want to check the cover sitting over it nicely. No bits hanging out over the side or the bottom. So I'm pretty happy with that. Just a little bit skew with there. Yeah, a bit better. A bit squarer. Now, this time I'm going to be putting the greaseproof paper in there because I really don't want any glue going where it doesn't need to be. That can go over the top. And I'm just going to weight that straight down, and that should hopefully make sure that the book itself glues really nicely to that cover. All right. I'm going to leave that for a little while and then pull it apart when it's dried. And then we'll be finished with our book. Thanks for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tour of how to make a concertina sketchbook. If you've got any questions, please just let me know in the comments below. And just a quick reminder that all the materials that I've used in this process will be listed in the comments section below. So bye for now, and I'll see you later.